Hello friends, how are you all? I hope you all are fine. This is Sarmad Ali. Today we are going to discuss about the mains syllabus for UPSC. Success Talks, the excellent way to achieve success in life. See, syllabus is the most important thing for UPSC examination. What happens that students go through a lot of things, they study a lot of books, they study question papers, but what happens, they do not study, they do not read, they do not go through the syllabus, which is the most important thing. So friends, let's see the mains syllabus. Let's understand the mains first. In mains there are two types of papers: qualifying papers and papers of merit. In qualifying papers there are two papers, paper A and paper B. In paper A, you can choose any language from the 8th schedule of the Constitution, and paper B is of English language. These two, paper A and paper B, are of qualifying in nature. Now coming to papers of merit. In papers of merit, you have essay paper. In essay paper, there is not specified syllabus. All the things that you will study in General Studies 1, General Studies 2, General Studies 3 and General Studies 4 will cover the essay part. And there are General Studies 1 paper, General Studies 2 paper, General Studies 3 paper, General Studies 4 paper and two optional papers. Paper that you will take by your own. So it is not possible to describe all the 26 optional papers syllabus. So here we will discuss briefly General Studies 1, General Studies 2, General Studies 3 and General Studies 4. Now coming to General Studies 1. General Studies 1. Indian heritage and culture, history and geography of the world and society. Indian culture. Topic first. Indian culture will cover salient aspects of art forms, literature and architecture from ancient to modern times. This topic 1 covers art and culture. Now coming to next. Modern Indian history from about the middle of the 18th century until the present, significant events, personalities and issues. Next, the freedom struggle, its various stages and important contributions from different parts of the country. Next, post-independence consolidation and reorganization within the country. Next, history of the world will include events from 18th century such as Industrial Revolution, World Wars, withdrawal of national boundaries, colonialization, decolonialization, political philosophies like communism, capitalism, socialism, etc. Their forms and effects on society. From this topic to here covers the history. So you have to read history by keeping in mind this topic 2, topic 3, topic 4 and topic 5. Now coming to next. Salient features of Indian society, diversity of India. Role of women and women's organization, population and associated issues, poverty and developmental issues, urbanization, their problems and their remedies. Effects of globalization on Indian society. Social empowerment, communalism, regionalism and secularism. So from here to here covers Indian society. Now coming to next. Salient features of world's physical geography. Distribution of key natural resources across the world, including South Asia and the Indian subcontinent. Factors responsible for the location of primary, secondary, tertiary sector industries in various parts of the world, including India. Important geographical phenomena such as earthquakes, tsunami, volcanic activity, cyclones, etc. Geographical features and their location changes in critical geographical features including water bodies and ice caps in flora and fauna and the effects of such changes. Now coming to General Studies 2. General Studies 2. Governance, Constitution, Polity, Social Justice and International Relations. Topic first. Indian Constitution. Historical underpinnings, evolution, features, amendments, significant provisions and basic structure. Next. Functions and responsibilities of the Union, the states, issues and challenges pertaining to the federal structure, devolution of powers and finances up to local levels and challenges therein. Separation of powers between various organs, dispute redressal mechanisms and institutions. Comparison of the Indian constitutional scheme with that of other countries. Next, Parliament and state legislatures, structure, functioning, conduct of business, powers and privileges and issues arising out of these. Structure, organization and functioning of executive and judiciary, ministries and department of the government, pressure groups, formal, informal associations and their role in polity. Next, salient features of Representation of People's Act. Appointment to various constitutional posts, powers, functions, responsibilities of various constitutional bodies. Next, statutory, regulatory, and various quasi-judicial bodies. Next, government policies and interventions for development in various sectors and issues arising out of their design and implementation. Next, development processes and the development industry, the role of NGOs, SHGs, that means self-help groups, various groups and associations, donors, charities, institutional and other stakeholders. Next, welfare schemes for vulnerable sections of the population by the center and the states and the performance of these schemes, mechanisms, laws, institutions and bodies constituted for the protection and betterment of these vulnerable sections. Issues pertaining to development and management of social sector services relating to health, education, human resources. Next, issues relating to hunger and poverty. Next, important aspects of governance, transparency and accountability, e-governance, applications, models, success, limitations and potential, citizens charters, transparency and accountability, and institutional and other measures. Next, role of civil societies in a democracy. See, from here, from one to here, all will be covered by one book, that is Indian Polity by M. Laxmikant. This book will cover all the static parts, not dynamic parts. Dynamic parts you have to cover from the Hindu, Yojana, PIV, etc. Here, next is India and its neighborhood relations. Next, bilateral, regional, and global groupings and agreements involving India and or affecting India's interests. Next, effect of policies and politics of developed and developing countries on India's interests, Indian diaspora. Next, important international institutions, agencies, and foreign structure mandate. Now coming to General Studies 3. General Studies 3. Technology, economic development, biodiversity, environment, security, and disaster management. Indian economy and issues relating to planning, mobilization of resources, growth, development, and employment. Next, inclusive growth and issues arising from it. Next, government budgeting. Next, major cropping patterns in different parts of the country, different types of irrigation and irrigation system storage, transport and marketing of agricultural produce issues and related constraints, e-technology in the aid of farmers. Next, issues relating to direct and indirect farm subsidies and minimum support prices, public distribution system objectives, functioning, limitations, revamping, issues of buffer stocks, food security, technology missions, economics of animal rearing. Next, food processing and related industries in India, scope and significance, location, upstream and downstream requirements, supply chain management. Next, land reforms in India. Next, effects of liberalization on the economy, changes in industrial policy and their effects on industrial growth. Next, infrastructure, energy, ports, roads, airports, railways, etc. Investment models. See, from here, from topic 1 to here, covers Indian economy. Now coming to next, science and technology, developments and their applications and effects in everyday life. Next, achievements of Indians in science and technology, Indianization of technology and developing new technology. Next, awareness in the fields of IT, space, computers, robotics, nanotechnology, biotechnology, and issues relating to intellectual property rights. See friends, from here to here covers science and technology. Now coming to next, conservation and environmental pollution, degradation, environmental impact assessment. Next, disaster and disaster management. See friends, these here, this one covers ecology, environment and biodiversity, and this disaster and disaster management is a different topic. Now coming to next, linkages between development and spread of extremism, role of external state and non-state actors in creating challenges to internal security. Challenges to internal security through communication networks, role of media and social networking sites in internal security challenges, basics of cyber security, money laundering and its prevention, security challenges and their management in border areas, linkages of organized crime with terrorism, various security forces, agencies and their mandate. From here to here covers security. Now coming to General Studies 4. General Studies 4, ethics, integrity and aptitude. See friends, This is the paper where you need not to do hard work. This is the paper which is called the written interview. Here you will be judged what you are, what your ethics is. So even let's see what is there inside. What the syllabus says is that this paper will include questions to test the candidate's attitude and approach to issues relating to integrity, probity in public life, and their problem solving approach. This paper will include questions to test candidates' attitude and approach to issues relating to integrity, probity in public life, and his problem-solving approach to various issues and conflicts faced by him in dealing with society. Questions may utilize to case study approach to determine their aspects, and following broad areas will be covered. Ethics and human interface. Essence, determinants and consequence of ethics in human actions, dimension of ethics, ethics in private and public relations, human values, lessons from the lives and teachings of great leaders, reformers, and administrators, role of family, society, and educational institutions in inculcating values, attitude, content, structure, functions, its influence and relation with thought and behavior, moral and political attitudes, social influence and persuasion, attitude and fundamental values for civil service, integrity, impartiality, non-partisanship, objectivity, dedication to public service, empathy, tolerance, and compassion towards weaker sections. Emotional intelligence concepts and their utilities and application in administration and governance. Contribution to moral thinkers, philosophers from India and the world. Public civil service values, ethics in public administration, status and problems, ethical concerns and dilemmas in governmental and private institutions. Laws, rules, regulations, and conscience as sources of ethical guidance, accountability, and ethical governance. Strengthening of ethical and moral values in governance. Ethical issues in international relations and funding. Corporate governance. Probity in governance, concept of public service, philosophical basis of governance and probity, information sharing, transparency in government, right to information, codes of ethics, codes of conduct, citizens' charters, work culture, quality of service delivery, utilization of public funds, challenges of corruptions. Case studies on above issues. So friends, this was all the syllabus of General Studies 1, General Studies 2, and General Studies 3, and General Studies 4. So friends, thank you. Thank you very much for watching this. So friends, if it is helpful, so please comment, and if any suggestion or any topics that you want to know, please comment on the comment section. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.